Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing the drama. It is a very weird movie, but it is great to start discussions on so many things in relationships and also about yourself. So I encourage you to watch it in case you haven't. In the video, I will have a spoiler free section and also a discussion with all spoilers, and that will be in the description below in case you only want to see one of the sections. We have our couple, Charlie and Emma, played by Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, and I have to say that they are amazing together. I loved their chemistry. The acting was amazing, and also the couple. At the beginning of the movie, they were a great couple. They had a meet cute that, yes, it was a little weird, but overall, I feel like they had chemistry. The score of the movie was amazing because it creates a lot of tension. You really get a better experience just because of the music. And the movie is well executed. It gives what it promises. It is dramatic and it has a lot of drama. It is also very funny. There are a lot of funny moments that are genuinely funny and that help with that tension that it creates. So they help you kind of feel a little less stressed with everything that's going on. And as I said, it is very important to open conversations about all of these topics because this discusses a lot of things. I wrote a list of things that I think the movie talks about. And I don't know if this is considered a spoiler, but I don't think that it should be considered a spoiler. I will just say what I think this movie presents. In my opinion, it talks about the past you versus the present you and what that represents. How other people's opinions affect your judgment on things. The more you ask about other people's opinions, the worse it gets and the more complicated it gets in your mind, especially if you're an anxious person. Also, how much information do we need to share with our partner? And when do we know that that is too much information? And morality and superiority, when you compare the worst version of your partner with the best version of you or the version of you that you think is good. I think that's also discussed in the movie and it's very interesting because of all of this. I couldn't stop thinking about this movie for hours after I watched it. And I discussed it with my sister. It was nice. And that's also why I wanted to film this video because I felt like I needed to talk about this. So now we're starting with the spoilers. So please, if you haven't watched the movie, this is the time that you stop watching the video. First, we have to discuss how the movie makes Emma seem like the worst person ever. It feels like you are on Charlie's side because of everything that's going on. You see everything from Charlie's perspective. How you see her at the beginning versus how you see her throughout the movie changes a lot. The movie makes you see Emma as a bad person, a very bad person. And I understand the nature of the violent act and also how they talk about it. How Charlie at some point says that a lot of people must have thought about doing the same thing but never did it. And that is a key point that Emma never did anything wrong. She didn't do it. She didn't do anything. And I know that it's hard to process what she wanted to do, but still, she didn't do it. But I have to say that, in my opinion, Emma was bad in the past but good in the present. And Charlie was good in the past, or in general, I can say, but bad in the present, bad on how he reacts and what he does. So, is this saying that Charlie is the real villain of the story and the real bad person of the story? I don't know. I will leave it at everybody's consideration. In my opinion, I do think Charlie is worse than Emma in this case. I'm not saying that he is the worst or that Emma is blameless, but I think he is worse because of everything he does. He is not only judging Emma, but also cheats on her. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Overall, Charlie is having this complex of being morally better. He is just seeing this version of Emma. All the little details about Emma that he knows now in the present, he relates them to this in the past. And also, he doubts a lot on the love that he has for her. But he knows deep down that he loves her and he knows deep down that she's not like that, but still, his mind is a mess. And I feel like this is very human because we all judge people based on morality, on what we think that is good and bad and how they behave. And I think an example that is good here and that it also tells a lot about Charlie is the DJ. They judge the DJ, but they are not very concerned about it. Charlie at the end is not even concerned about it, but he is very concerned about Emma, even though she didn't do anything and it was not in the present. And I think that is because he, of course, cares more about Emma and he's going to marry her. But still, I think we judge a lot harder the people we love than other people or strangers. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but that makes me think a lot about my own choices and my own judgments. That's why I say that this movie gives you a lot to think about. And talking about the DJ theme, like, is it enough for a person to do a good job for you not to care about their life choices? Do their life choices even matter if they are not your friends or your family and they're just doing something for you? They're working for you. I think that it's kind of similar to talk about the music versus the artist. I think that's a similar conversation there. But that is up to everybody and what they think that they would do. Now, talking about the friends and how they influence a lot of Charlie's decisions or thoughts, all of the confessions from the friends are bad. Rachel's confession was awful, and she still didn't think that it was awful. She is this type of person, that is very self righteous and very hypercritical because of what she's doing to Emma and how she's judging her. And also, Charlie's confession was very bad. And all of them justify it because he was a kid. He was a teenager. He was 14, I think. But they all judged Emma for something that she didn't do when she was 15. So it's almost the same age. And I think that that's very bad. I don't know why they thought very differently from Charlie's confession than Emma's confession. Overall, I think the movie makes a great job at making you see Emma with these judgmental eyes. Maybe not everyone, but I think a lot of people would be on Charlie's side at first, or maybe during the whole movie. And I have to say, yeah, for me, that was shocking. The revelation was shocking, especially a revelation like this days before the wedding. But still, I don't think that the shock justifies how Charlie acted. He just went into a spiral, like a very bad spiral, making everything worse. And Emma felt very guilty about it. You could see in her face that she felt obviously that Charlie was judging her, that he was doubting everything, that he didn't want to get married anymore. And as I said, Charlie kind of believes a lot in what his friends say and what other people say. He's even asking a coworker, Misha, and that is also another topic because he asked Misha what was the worst thing that she have done. And then she tells in the story that she cheated and that that's the worst thing. And 5 minutes later, she is willing to cheat. I don't know, that makes you think how some people just don't change. I found that really funny and realistic and also sad because it is realistic. But in the context of the movie, it is a funny moment. You can see that Charlie is just gone. He lost it because he's doing this, and you see that he's not a cheater, but he still is so messed up, and everything in his world is collapsing that he does it. We have to remember that in the end, Emma never did something bad, and something in her changed, and she went the complete opposite of what she was planning to do. That is a big change, and that is also a big revelation and a big step for Zendaya's character because that shows you that she is different now. She doesn't show any sign of wanting to do this violent act in the present or being someone who would do this. And I have to say again that Emma felt guilty about it. You could see that she regretted also saying it because she was drunk when she said it, but she also didn't want to be defined by it. She had this big burden about the past. She didn't want everyone to know. And of course, she didn't want Charlie to be disappointed or be scared or to do all the mess that he did. At the end, I think that Charlie asked all the wrong questions. Should I marry her? Do I love her because of what she thought at 14? Is she the same person? I think that that was his mistake. I see this movie as a very deep exploration on acceptance and humanity and love. Because how do you know you love someone? You have to accept the person for who they are and you have to see them. It's not about judgment, it is about acceptance. It's very interesting how they play with the whole part of getting to know someone and how much do you need to know about them, or when do you feel like you know a person to be sure that you want to marry them. And also you might wonder, I mean, maybe it would have been better if Emma just didn't say this. It wasn't going to impact the relationship in any way. So maybe it would have been better. It would have been just a normal wedding if Emma didn't mention it. And I don't think it would have been a bad thing, like not being honest enough, because it had nothing to do with Charlie and their relationship. And that makes me ask again, should you tell your partner everything, every single detail of what you did? Because they can see you very differently from this. And also, it makes me wonder what defines a person, their past, their actions in the present, how they change, the things that they do right, their mistakes. Like, this really makes you think a lot. The ending. So they both meet in this place where Emma wanted to go, and Charlie knows that he messed up, and then they do this cute, maybe cringy thing. Sometimes in the movie it's cringy, sometimes in the movie it's cute. I think this is a cute moment in which they start over. It seems like it's going to work out for them. Like the wedding was a disaster, but at least now they can move on. And that makes you think, how do you accept your partner? You have to see not only the ideal version that you think in your head, but the real person, the real human. And humans have flaws, and humans have pasts, and humans have made mistakes. So that is the whole thing, I think, about the movie and the whole message that they wanted to show. At least for me, that's what I think. It has a lot of layers, but it is very entertaining. So it's a good movie for you to watch. I enjoyed it a lot, and I I want to watch it again. I would like to rewatch it. It was amazing, and the most important thing for me it was all the things that it talks about, because I think it's a lot and you can discuss it with people and have deep conversations with this movie. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a like, share it with friends. Subscribe to my channel for more content about movies, TV shows, books, and sometimes lifestyle too. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here on the screen, I will put more videos for you to watch, and I will see you in the next one.